whether he's been paid by somebody to run for president. The opposition are interesting. I think your biggest attacks are coming from the opposition.
Correct.
And by the opposition, we're talking of Nelson Chamisa's Citizens Coalition for Change. Mm-hmm. They are alleging that somebody has paid you to run for president. They are alleging that you are a Zanu PF project. Do you have any response to that?
Hi guys, hello gorgeous people. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Uncensored with Rumbi. Thank you guys for tuning in and also for subscribing to my channel. But I want to remind those that haven't subscribed to really subscribe to the channel and make sure that you turn on the notification button because there's a lot of content that's going to be uploaded here. So guys, I was on break. This is why I never uploaded any content for the past week. So yeah, I'm back. But today we are going to be looking at Chapman, Robert Chapman, one of the presidential candidates. Is he a Zanu PF project?
Your family has been through a lot. Mm-hmm. What is that like, the lot that they've gone through? What is it that they're having to go through because they've made this decision?
You know, one is financial. When you asked, did someone pay me? No, this has been personally. I've been funding this, and of course, when I say personally, that includes my family. That decision is made as a family. I grew up without a father, and so fatherhood has been very important to me. And I see my kids as much as I can. You know, prior to doing this in my own private life, I fly about 100 flights a year just for work business. So anytime I'm not there, anytime I'm home, I'm always with my family, my kids, turn the cell phone off. But now the distance that's there, because of the politics, and even sometimes I'm taking late night phone calls. It's 24 hours a day, and I'm talking to different teams. That time is sort of not there anymore, and we're trying to bridge that with technology, FaceTime, but it's not the same as being one-on-one. So I'm missing my son's birthday, yesterday, and we knew there was a part where he was going to start walking, and I didn't want to miss that. So I went back home for about 2-3 weeks, and we were really waiting for that. And he really took his first steps while I was there. Got to see it. I get emotional talking about this. But he turned 1 yesterday and FaceTimed him. First one? First boy. I've got 4 girls. I've got 4 older girls, and he's the first boy. Yeah. So it was seeing him yesterday. But I want to really note that my wife has been extremely supportive, absolutely loving. She's not put any pressure on me. Zimbabwean. She's not. She's American. She's American. Extremely supportive. She understands why I'm doing it. She's been to Zimbabwe many times. She said that her favorite place. She felt closer to God when we watched the sunset in Kariba. Yeah, it was interesting. The beach was empty. The Pebble Beach out there, and we had a glass of wine together, and we saw the sun go down over the mountains. And she said, "This is the closest."
And when he spoke about his family and how much he's so fond of his children and his wife, I think for me, that's everything. One of the things that I've been saying lately when it comes to Chamisa and his family, I was so proud. Well, you know the picture that was circulating, that picture. You can watch that one, the most beautiful picture ever. And that picture said a lot. We all can attest to the fact that families are broken in Zimbabwe. And when we get a man who starts by his intro and said, I am a father, I have children, I love my family, I love my wife, that's everything. We want someone who starts at home, because the real government in terms of leadership starts at home. If you fail at home, it's very hard for you to succeed in the secular space, because remember, the same principles that you apply at home will always be the same principles that you apply outside, because when you're in government, you not only talk about policies, you're dealing with humanity. So if you don't really know how to deal with people in a general sense, it's going to be harder for you to succeed. So the fact that he's introduced himself as a family man, to me, I'm like, okay, let's hear more from this man, because he's already given you the ground. I want you guys to understand that there shall be restoration of families as soon as Chamisa gets in the office. There's no doubt about that. Families are broken. This is why our communities are broken. For the fact that children are being given drugs, are struggling. Most parents are out of the country, try to make ends meet to pay the fees, take care of their children. But imagine if everything was working in the country, parents wouldn't leave the country. So many marriages collapsed because people separated in search of greener pastures. And I just can't wait for the time when families have to be restored. So for me, I'm like, he sold me. When he talks about family, I'm like, okay, I think now I can listen.
Whether he's been paid by somebody to run for president. The opposition are interesting. I think your biggest attacks are coming from the opposition.
Correct.
And by the opposition, we're talking of Nelson Chamisa's Citizens Coalition for Change. Mm-hmm. They are alleging that somebody has paid you to run for president. They are alleging that you are a Zanu project. Do you have any response to that?
You know, I debated on responding to it, but it's very easy because they do this to themselves. They've done this since history. So let me answer this straight as I can. I am not paid for by Zanu PF. I am not paid for by any foreign entity. I have come from a very comfortable lifestyle, life where I could have just stayed in the shadows. I love private sector because you can succeed and fail privately. For me to expose my family and myself this way, this was a personal decision. I don't think there's enough money that someone could pay me to do what I'm doing and putting my family through what it's going through. So there's no one paying me. My job and my goal is to remove Zanu PF. I want to make that extremely clear. They wouldn't pay me to do that. They wouldn't pay me to get anywhere near that realm. The other side of it, there are individuals that are sanctioned by the United States inside the Zanu PF government. I don't think I would be smart enough to align myself there and participate in this election at the risk of also being put on that sanctions list with illicit. So the issue is the name calling and the slurs that come out. This is actually what separates the opposition.
So one of the things that I've been telling most of the people in the diaspora, especially the working class, and I've been pushing harder on most of our working class people to say, hey, go home and register to vote. Play your part. It's because we are too comfortable in the foreign lands, right? But we forget that there will come a time where the only place that you want to be home. You know, and you don't want to go back to your home where things are dilapidated. You want to be in a place where it's conducive for you to actually enjoy, you know, your pension. And I've always been saying it, but people think it's a joke. Don't be too comfortable, brothers and sisters. Go home, register to vote if you can. If you have families at home, try your best, phone them and tell them who to vote for. We are tired of keep repeating the same old thing of dealing with thieves, you know, thugs, manipulators. We're using the poor to do their dirty work while they're living fancy life.
Why didn't you join the Citizens Coalition for Change to get rid of Zanu PF?
You know, our constitution's older than their political formation. And so we had actually been looking at this long before they had actually formed. And we did make an attempt to talk with them, not just them, with what we consider progressive opposition, to say, we need to go on this together. And how do we do that? We may not agree on certain key fundamentals, but if we find basic principle, what we're trying to accomplish, I think we can get this done. And this is more from the business sector, which you see mergers and acquisitions all the time because they're trying to go after a corner of a certain market. And so I looked at that in politics and say, we're trying to go after something very big, very deep rooted, and we need to pull this weed out, and we need a big machine to do so. Ego plays a part in this. Big ego plays a part in this, where, you know, are you trying to take a position? Are you trying to do this? Are you trying to do that? And I realized the conversation really was going nowhere.
How big is your ego?
I think you have to have a big ego to do what we're doing. You know, if you're being honest, you have to have a big ego to do what we're doing. But for me, in this one here, I think there's more of an emotional call for me that if there was if there was something that was there and they said, you know, I would step away. I would. This is a hard thing to do, to put your family through this, you see the attacks, they're racial, there are all sorts of stuff. And it's fine. I can deal with all these sort of things, but, you know, at some point, my family is part of the campaign too. My family is part of this as well. And we know how politics can get in this country. And that risk is always something we keep at front of mind. And I said, I love private sector, but I know that we don't have a solution in this country that is really going to build this country. We don't have it.
All right, so I also want you guys to know that callings are very interesting because he's mentioning about his racial state, of which we all know that Zimbabweans are not racist. And we have been exposed to white people. As a matter of fact, we work with white people. So there are two parts to these allegations. if it's truly Zanu-PF's project, then it was well articulated. Then I don't know how much money did they pay him, considering the way he speaks, his family structure, the alignment, profession. I mean, you know, it's one thing to get the money, it's another thing to lose your mental sanity. And the moment you just draw yourself into the Zanu-PF structure, then you're gone. I mean, look at Mkulingwe, the whole professor turned into a zombie. I mean, but just in the midst of chaos, you know. So for me, if he did that, then he definitely has just started the most, you know, brutal journey for himself, because it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. But on the other hand, I really don't think he is. And why? Yeah, when you really listen to him from a sober point of view, sober mind point of view, without all this anger and the toxicity that is just roaming in Zimbabwe because people are angry. Do I blame them? I don't. There's been a lot of chaos going down over the years. So people are pumped up. They are tired. All they want is to be out of toxic energy, you know? So definitely, I don't think he is, really. I feel like he's just someone who is compassionate. He's someone who's just, you know, he's being driven by emotions, which means compassion is the one that is driving him. So, you know, when you're in that position, you don't care less about what people say. All you want is to see change. And it will happen eventually, because, I mean, Chamisa is considered a strong base when it comes to support. So definitely it doesn't stand a chance, even for one constituency. There's no doubt about that. But I just also want us to work together so that we can have at least strong political players. We were tired of mediocre people that compromise, like Linda Masarira. We have Maduku, we have Vana Monzora. These are just type of nonsense that we don't need in a political space. So, I mean, I would just say, let him stick around. Let's see where it's going. I mean, what he needs to know is you just have to be patient, because the people of Zimbabwe have been played big time. So now it's a matter of, you need to end the trust.
Do I think it's Zanu-PF project? I don't think so, but I think the timing was just a bit tricky, because we really want numbers. So we don't want any infiltration. We don't want any division of votes. We want numbers. Yeah. Then, but he mentioned his goal to take Zanu-PF out. So if that is the goal, then let's work together and bring down this monster. And then let's stop the drama, because we really don't want no toxicity. We don't want no drama. We don't want anything that is going to cause trouble. We want this monster to go. As you promised, sir, we want the big muscle to take out this weed together. And together we can. And together we'll prosper. Together we're going to be speaking a different story. By the end of this year, we'll be different people. But this coming year, we'll be back to our feet. We'll rebuild the country again. God bless everyone. And I want to encourage you to register to vote. Don't forget that. Play your part, because we are in to win. I love you all, and God bless you. So guys, please, I'm asking you to comment in the comment section. Say what you're thinking, but we don't want to fight here. We're going to teach each other. I'm very open to listen to your own contributions, but we don't want to shout or fight. We just want to be one people, one love. Bless you all.